After Texas Showdown, I was happy, of course, because last year I did end up going and I couldn't even make top eight, and I had to fight Reynolds to attempt to make top eight, and he outplayed me 2 matches in a row, and it was kind of a very salty feeling. But after coming out and getting my how would you say my payback, my run back against Reina, it felt nice. It felt like something that I worked hard and showed like a whole year's worth of like training and competition, how much I've grown as a player, and it's felt super great, and I can't explain like how amazing it feels, really. For me, the I have always ran a very non-meta and very unusual team, and even with rocking the team that I have, it managed to get me high placements in tournaments such as CEO, Evo, and winning other majors like Texas Showdown and KIT. Videl is a very unique character in this game, only because like she utilizes an offensive structure in the game that not a lot of characters really have in terms of like how you approach like the block string. She's more like reset heavy type, and on top of that she relies on her assist to like open you up with like her specials a lot more frequently than other characters. And even though she doesn't have like the highest damaging on some of these starters, she has like a lot, and I mean a ton of different ways to open you up compared to the rest of the cast. And even against the top tiers themselves, like she, in my opinion, has still one of the best offensive structures in this game. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. And that's what I really like about her. And and playing around like other opponents that actually have either bigger normals, better tools. She has answers for them that a lot of the cast doesn't really know how to work with. And a lot of people say that she's probably like the weakest in my team. I disagree. I think that she's actually the strongest in my team, just because of all of the options she provides, not just for my team, but like in just the character itself. Her whole design is meant to revolve around the assist, right? So the more assists you have, the better you're gonna open up your opponent, and with her offensive structure, you're gonna have a lot more. But running her mid, like it also has like there's a little bit of like positive gains, because when you land your first hit on your opponent, you can bring her in and you can force RPS scenarios with with your third assist. So there's like cons and pros for walking her both, but I ultimately decided on point, because having two assists is definitely better than one, and having more and using all these offensive tools in the game, you can now have two chances over just one. That's my personal opinion. Back last year when Lab Coat was introduced to the game, everyone knew that she was going to be a problem into the game. And after realizing that the debuff was comboable, I went to Texas Showdown without her, and I think that was probably the worst mistake I could have. I was tempted enough to figure up at Combo Breaker of 2022, and it was a feeling. It felt weird, because having to like I had a lot of different tools to work with over the tools I currently have, and having all that, it felt nice, but it just didn't feel the same. It didn't feel like the game I enjoyed, because of what the character offers, right? The character skips neutral at a rate that I don't think should ever be done in a fighting game. Like a lariat that goes nearly full screen, has anti-key properties, and is able to just smoke you across the screen. I'm not it feels nice, winning, because like, oh yeah, I'm winning. But in the end of the day, like all I'm doing is I feel like I'm not doing anything special to just win. So after doing that, and she got nerfed, I just went back to my old team because I said, nah, like if I'm gonna play the game, I'm gonna play the game how I enjoy it. I'm gonna play the game that I feel feels right. Because if I play just this stuff, of course I'm winning more. That feels also nice, but it just feels kind of lame. And like, what's the purpose? If I don't have fun with the game, then there's no point in playing it. She has like a bit of weaknesses, right? And it is hard to perform it because it is a tag fighter in the end of the day. But there are openings that she does provide, either from her frame one anti-air spin. There are assists in the game to smoke him. Like, you can just call him and she'll get punished for him. There, you can chase. That is also a possibility. And on top of that, not only do the fusions have this, but there are other characters in the game that have abilities or specials that can go either through Key Blast, can go to and just armor her. Like, there are other characters with tools that can defeat Lab Coat. But now that we live in a scenario where everyone wants to pick the top tiers, we condition like the player base to always pick, like, oh, you only have these set options. These set options can't win. That's not true. Like, Broly will have a command grab that can grab her from across the screen and throw her. But because you don't see those characters being played more, there isn't like that you don't see people experimenting with those types of things. What I recommend for every player is just to experiment more and more in the game, because there are definitely answers that are still missing out there that as a community we can piece out together. But if nobody's willing to try, then nobody's going to find out. For this patch, I would like them to fully remove like full screen normals. That is my biggest personal gripe with this game, because having normals that flung across the screen at like a faster rate than even your movement speed is, to me, like a joke. Like, I should have never been designed in the game. I also would like them to never remove, but like tone down defensive assists, because like there are some scenarios where I'm putting my opponent on a block string, or I'm getting put in a block string, and I'm just mashing my assists. And if the opponent delays, like, oh, like I'm gonna wait just a little bit, they just call their assists, and they just I succeed or they succeed. And to me, I feel like the assist call should definitely, it should be slower, or like it should be longer, because you shouldn't be rewarded just for pressing an assist and be like, oh, I called my defensive assist, now you die, and on top of that, you just got TOD. Congratulations, GG's, shake my hand. I would like them to remove the active raw tag as whenever you do a special, because the top tiers of this game utilize this because of the length of their specials. Like, you have characters that let me think. You have characters like Vegito, where he does legs. You can bring anybody in the game, DR them. Awesome, that's cool. He gets down, you stomp on them if you're playing Lab Coat, level 1, and then you go back to Vegito. And to me, I think that that's a flawed design, because of course you're gaining more damage, but why should you be rewarded with an assist call just for them to come out and that's it? Like, there isn't, like, you're not spending any more resources. It's either that it should cost more resource, or that they should be locked out of their assists so they can't go back to their initial characters. And as for like the patch itself, when the patch comes, rollback is introduced, you know that I'm gonna be playing this game a lot more, and you're gonna see me like experimenting and trying to learn stuff, because I do want to continue to compete in this game, but I don't want to continue in a state where my opponent can just press one button and he'll teleport across the screen. That's personally the game I don't want to play. I'm willing to teach anybody that is interested in the game, from like, hey, I just bought this game, all the way to the highest level of advice. I'm willing to teach anybody. But in my opinion, the people that would utilize it the most will be people that understand like the core like instructions that the game has was designed for. I'm willing to teach people on how to enhance their movement, enhance like the block strings, enhance how to open up their opponent. I'm willing to teach them this. And that, in my opinion, I think that's what I can offer the most assistance with in this game. So I would say around beginner, maybe mid-level is probably the best in what I can offer. And at a high level, I can teach you how to go even further, like even going in depths of like what makes things work in this game, what are answers that you don't normally see, or just trying to find ways to not open up your opponent, but like understand the game at a very deep level. In the year of 2023, where this interview is happening, hello future people that are listening to the interview, but in this year we have Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, and potentially maybe a beta for Project L coming along. This is, in my opinion, probably one of the best years of fighting games in such a long time. And you know that I'm gonna be trying my best to earn as much tournament placements as possible. I'm gonna try to aim for the Capcom Cup. I'm gonna try to throw hands in Tekken 8. Like, this is the best year to play, and this is the one that I would like to continue playing outside of just Dragon Ball. I do have a Twitter. It's SF Lucar. You'll usually see me there just complaining about, man, I really hate this meta, or man, I really enjoy playing Dragon Ball, but I hate this meta, or hey, I love playing Final Fantasy, but I hate this meta. I do stream with the same name handle on Twitch, and I may not stream all the time, but whenever I do, I always either stream Dragon Ball FighterZ, just practicing, just getting ready for tournament, or playing MMOs. So you definitely get a couple laughs, maybe see me not complain about the meta for once. I do have a Metafy, earlier stated in the video. I teach people that want to learn, and if you have just minor questions, you can just message me either on my Twitter or my Discord or whatever. Outside of Evo, Combo Breaker, and CEO, I would love to compete outside of just my outside of the United States, and I'm planning on trying to do that for the Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour event 2023 or 2024. I'm trying to travel out. Like, I know that there was a tournament in Brazil. I heard that there was one in the Philippines. I heard that there was one in Japan. And I would like to travel to as many possible. There's a bunch in EU as well. I would love to participate in these tournaments, because if this is the potential last year for Dragon Ball, I definitely want to make a statement that I travel to these majors and I am like a menace to this game in a good way, that I'm really good. So like, I would definitely like to leave like a fair, like my final fair work to the game if this is the last year. If not, you'll see me attempting this again next year. And I would also like to come home with the World Tour Cup. So you'll definitely try to see me attending those tournaments. And if not, you'll see me attending smaller ones across the country.